nerve now. I gotta shave my head.
Woo!
Yeah, oh my god. I am doing great. Salutations to everybody. Kudos, 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 and all that stuff. Drink water. Hey, hey, hey. Only for the ladies. Well, one lady in particular, because she'll kill me.
Only for
So,
the lady is because he's got dad stash. Ow! I just had this thing trimmed. Thank you.
you're looking too rugged. Oh my god.
Oh, no ruggedness here. Just smooth, smooth dad chin.
Mm, mm, This is the dad's episode. Yes. I love the coordination. Yeah, I love the coordination while we're recording versus, hey, we were on like 10, 15 minutes ago.
Let's just
Yeah.
drop everything and just do this right here now. You know what? Let's actually have a planning meeting now in order to lay out what sort of topics we're going to run over this next week.
Yeah. This is the
Hmm.
planning meeting episode now. We had the tech hour last episode. Now we have the planning meeting. Uh,
Yeah. Maybe some of that Wolverine fatal attractions may have gotten the best of him, and he decided to sit
mhm.
it out for an episode. But
He had to cope with his feelings. Mm.
what's wrong with that?
Oh, did you hand it off to me? Oh, okay. So
A
week
hot
was
pass, much like what happened to his chin.
oh yeah, smooth as that baby's foot. I don't know. Um, so this week was actually awesome. We celebrate Mother's Day. So if I didn't tell you guys already, tell your significant others, hey, happy Mother's Day. Hunter, you could do that later whenever you decide to not watch this episode. So um, it's okay on that part. But yeah, we spent Mother's Day with the wife. We got away from the kids. I know that may sound bad, but hey, sometimes you need a break. Got to eat some fantastic food from Turkish cafes to Korean food to kebab. So we basically were visiting the world. That was our version of a vacation or something. Um, and then just chill out for the rest of the evening on that part. Other than that was just work, and then started watching what we always watch, the X-Men, which we'll talk about later. The conclusion of it. Gotta finish Godzilla minus one. We could talk about that later. Actually, was a little bit of a tearjerker for me, almost. I'm like, oh, dude, this was the most I'll say right now is that very story oriented. Love the fact that it was kind of they went back to cause I don't know where this is in canon for Godzilla. Yeah, so that's what's the fact. Cause I mean, when I was a kid, I saw the ones that were in black and white. They went in color. There were some couple of old junk moments. So yeah, I finished that. What else I do? They'll come to me, so I'm gonna hand it off to Glenn on that part.
Spectacular. Yeah. So this week, let's see. Mother's Day was quite fun. We hung out at the house. Christy made breakfast. And me and the kids had gotten her a really nice James Avery bracelet. And did you know this? They make mixer stands or stand mixers as a charm that you can add to a bracelet. Whoa.
Mm-mm.
I know. It was pretty crazy. No, and little Isaac was like, you know, we can always get her a T Rex. And I was like, nah, bro, nah, you got to get something that, like, you know, it's about mommy. And he's like, oh, okay. we get a book?" I was like, "Yeah, your mom likes books, but I've never seen a stand mixer." And he's like, "Oh yeah, stand mixer." And then
Mhm.
Caroline, of course, got a mushroom because mushrooms. If you knew my dear wife, that'd make a lot more sense because she's positively obsessed with gnomes, mushrooms, and large, sexy bearded men. So that's oh, I know,
Mhm.
right?
He was the exception. He was the
I
big
guess.
he was the
Yeah,
exception. He was
I
the big
used to
he was the
be
big gnome.
I used to be actually whenever I met her, I didn't really have that much of a beard. Uh,
Mhm.
and I wasn't very. I mean, I was tall, but I wasn't very like big.
Mhm.
I guess at the moment, that's what she was into.
He was a tall
Um,
like, looking up at him like, "You're a tall giant. Come on. Ain't you a tall glass of water?" Like, "Ooh, okay."
Basically, that was kind of how it went. I swear, there's a whole story there. Believe you me. Yeah, yeah. I was taken down like a wounded gazelle. I'll just say that. Um, okay, I won't. I won't. All right, I'm getting the wave off from the tower over here. No, not stabby eyes. She's not looking stabby eyes. She couldn't look at me like that. She said, "Please don't."
Yeah. He's doing Morse code.
No Morse code. No. So, let's see. So this week in gaming, I have revisited the Deus Ex series, and due to just some sort of weird whim, something I feel in the water, like Spectre is going to get his ability to make System Shock 3. I don't know. We'll see. Um, dude, like, okay, so that his It wasn't no, 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 I'm making jokes. Like, believe you me,
Yeah.
I wish. That's it's one of those things where they have there's been what? There was a trailer for 3. There's been all sorts of crazy stuff that's going on now that they're flush with money with the remake for the original System Shock. I mean, it makes oh yeah, so true. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what happens when we get, paid to do, one of those many, many skills that we as millennials have developed a wide spread of, doing stuff, just trying it out. And all of a sudden, oh my God, people will pay me to do this.
Mhm.
Like, so that's the way things go. Let's see what else. I cannot think for the life of me. Oh, uh, Little Kitty Big City came out on May 9th. And that was a pretty good one. It is basically, if you've ever played Untitled Goose Game, okay, imagine that, but you're a little black kitty cat. I'm just going to say the goose was probably the bigger asshole here because the goose did it for his own selfish means, and the little kitty cat in Little Kitty Big City is merely just trying to get back home. The premise of the game basically that you're a cat, you're in the middle of a Asian city of some sort, thinking somewhere in Japan, and you're sunning yourself on a windowsill. You stretch, and then oh god, gravity takes its place, and you take a big comedic fall down to the ground, which would have killed most cats. However, you are not just any cat. You are a cat who eats fish and gets better and collects shinies and is able to invest in other animals around you and save baby ducklings. And then, eventually with the consumption of enough little fishies, you gain enough strength to be able to climb the ivies back to your ivory tower in the sky. But I haven't gotten to that part yet. So I guess you know, still we're still playing. It's really great because like my son, he has a hard time like getting into reading. He's like, that book doesn't have like pictures in it. Dad, that's boring. I was like, what are you talking about? It's the books without pictures that are the ones that are really worth reading. Those pictures are in your head, bro. And he's like, okay. And so but Yeah, right. No, I mean, it's one of those things, right? So he's taken to like, whenever the other animals talk to him, he's like, "Oh, what does this say?" I'm like, "Well, just read it." And he's like, "Okay, what do you want to do? Would you like a shiny?" And then he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I want a shiny." It's like, "Oh, okay, there you go." And so the breadcrumbs are laid down, and so that should be really, really fun. Definitely. Mhm. He knew the words fireball and golem before he could, read the words like, cat. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, that's awesome. Oh, yeah. Kick ass. Yeah. Your little boy's awesome. But yeah, I mean, that's more or less my week. I mean, I have a lot of stuff planned. I'm going to be board gaming next week with
All right.
one of my other besties. Um, and then I got a D&D game that I'm going to be running next week. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yep.
I was gonna mention
Back to you, Nico.
oh, so the other things I was gonna mention, but was one, the funny thing, since Glenn mentioned D&D. So Izzy did create her character, a Dragonborn paladin. By the time I made it back home from work, it was killed. So I was like, "How the heck did you get killed?" She's like, "Well, it's the orcs. The orcs got me." And I'm like, so she's showing me pictures. They have a nice setup on how they did it. And I'm like, "Well, who's your healers?" Well, I was a healer. That was down. The other person was a healer. We're missing somebody. But it's okay. I'm gonna create another character. So it's gonna be a rogue half orc. And I was like, well, at least you'll have stealth and critical, hit points. But then I was thinking to myself, like, I was like, well, what level were you guys? Was this like you jumped in the campaign? I was like level 50. Oh, there's a level 4. I'm like, that early? Like, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's just, well, I don't know, cause I asked her what she's playing fifth edition. Oh,
I'm just going to say this, that monsters can be any CR that you wish, for they are only the vessel with which you carry a story. And
mm.
it is, in fact, the GM that brings the challenge.
So her, no, so I mean, she says she credits it to bad rolls plus something happened to where I guess one of them either they got separated because somebody entered a room and then they couldn't get open the room. I'm like, okay, that just sounds crazy. Not to say our first session was spectacular. There was one. Mhm. But then we had that one round. I don't know if this is the same campaign or a different one where I had bad roll. Like I wanted to quit. I was getting pissed off. Like, oh, I think yeah, that was the campaign, but that was campaign, but
Red
it was
Batman,
in
you
the
mean the
very
Red
beginning.
Hood? He Batman, he red Batman. You see that there that Adam West, he blue Batman.
Hey, hey,
You
I'm
see
playing with
Batman?
Adam
He
West.
got the rainbow. That gay pride Batman.
Oh man.
You see that Batman with the boobies? That Bat lady.
That's a good segue to Nico. Like,
Me too, bro. Like seriously, I've been seeing a lot of house shorts. Like it's almost it's a conspiracy. They're trying to save Peacock because of the new CEO that came in. I swear to God, it has to be. Wait, I'm just gonna say the ass end. Which end is the ass end? It's all kind of ass.
Mm.
Oh no, did I offend you? I'm sorry. It's not
Cool.
lupus, I promise.
Mm.
Well, I mean, it isn't mullet sweet lovin'. I'm just gonna say that. It's it's is it mullet Rico's stash? You know?
So was the party. What you talk about?
Wasn't this like the whole entire premise of the movie Crank or Crank 2? Just Crank 2, but with social. Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Is she a mountain mama now? Okay. But you did take her home via the country road. Yeah.
Hmm. So speaking of games, I did post something um, in our chat for the Discord. Was so essentially, I don't know if you guys ever play the Assassin's Creed games. Oh my God, here he goes. Here he goes. Mhm, mhm. And that one, I would be just. I mean, you would be just on that one. I mean, again, this is the same company whose CEO said that customers have to get used to not owning their games when it comes to that stuff. Yeah, I mean, pretty much it's just like with Xbox 360, Xbox when they said that, yeah, they got a system with no internet. It's called the 360. So, so go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, I get free
But
games from
yeah,
there every couple of days. I have several thousand games on Steam. Yes,
yep.
probably the two largest online stores for digital distribution of
Mhm.
video games and software.
Mhm.
Unless you do family sharing, yeah, yeah, there are means. It's a solid game.
Mhm.
Origin, yeah. Mass Effect,
Yeah.
Peggle. No, just kidding. I will say,
Mhm.
I will say that Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is available on Switch, and right, same here. Yeah, yeah. I've heard whispers of
Mhm.
it, but I have not actually seen anything as of yet. I know there's going to be backwards compatibility, as far as I understand.
Mm.
Mhm. Well, they can just upgrade to that with the Nintendo Switch to OLED. Right. Right, and that's what a lot of folks have been doing as an aftermarket swap is the essentially that's to combat stick drift that happens with the Joy Cons that we have currently.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I see. Okay, I thought they were Hall effect. If they're smart and they don't want to have to redo every one.
Mm.
Not Leon. No, I'm just kidding. Sounds like an episode for your channel. There you go.
Here, chew on this.
But can it run Dune? Yeah, I assume so. Okay, excellent. Then it has reached the standard.
Oh, I know. I've learned to when something sets you up, just let you go. Just let him off the leash. Let him do his little yappity yap, and eventually we'll get back.
I'm
Um,
going to be polite while Nico talks and flaps his little lips because it's the right thing to do. Yeah, you like that?
As a man who has, three brothers, I understand when one of them has to talk or whatever. You got to let the younger one talk because the younger one doesn't feel like it is not heard, And now that Hunter's not here this episode, he's not able to reel him in, which is weird because Hunter's the younger brother and Nico's the older brother. So it's like the younger brother being the older brother. It's a weird thing. He's like, oh, okay,
You
you
were
tell
part
me.
of the gifted and talented program in the '90s, weren't you? Oh, okay. No, no. There was something I heard the other day about somebody saying like if you were like in the gifted and talented program back in the '90s, that was basically just them like putting you in a space where you could let your ADHD creativity run wild.
Mm.
I was a GT kid, dude. Like totally undiagnosed. I'm sure. I'll deny it till the day I die. I'm sure. But yeah.
I probably,
Anyways, back to
I pro-
Rico.
yeah. I was gonna say on that one, I probably had it too, but my dad had a good fix for that. It was called the belt. So you go sit your ass down. No, I'm joking. Um, no, so
Look at your book.
the only
Go
thing I
ahead.
was gonna say on the Assassin's Creed game was one, I more likely won't buy it until like it's out later on. It's on sale because I haven't played. No, you know what? That was the first. Go ahead. Mm, I didn't play that one, but I did talk to Dexter and Randy earlier, and Dexter mentioned that as far as Black Flag was the best one for him. Mm. Yeah, I
Or
mean
Ninja.
mm. So that's what Assassin's Creed Shadow is going to be. But right now, it's a contentious issue because I don't know what it is about. Yeah, it's just so okay. So to preface, hold on. So I guess my thing is this: is that when it comes to certain thing, I have a certain bias, but my viewpoint is like movies. If you put a little bit of sci-fi in it, a little bit of truth in there, you'll capture my attention. I mean, like I was joking with Dexter Randy, it's like X Files. If you go back and you watch some episodes, there's at least many episodes, or at least a couple episodes that they talk about certain things. Again, this is like what 94 when the show came out and whatever. That is reality now. And so I always like a little bit of history or a little bit of sci-fi in the movies and video games. I don't. Again, like we talked about Battlefield. I think it was Battlefield 3 or 4 when they introduced some Soviet. I think it was Soviet woman character. There really was a sniper that was a woman from Soviet Union, whatever. And so yeah, she had a bionic arm. It's all about the story, but I think now people are they're just being contentious to be contentious, and it's always about content creation. So with this one, the main thing I'm seeing is which history do you believe? Because you have what the Japanese have wrote, you have what certain things wrote, but even then, some of the articles I read is kind of shaky. But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm a samurai. I don't care if it's a black samurai. I don't care if it's a white. I'm a samurai. Or in this case, I will more likely play a ninja, and it's a female ninja. I don't care. Like Glenn said, I'm a ninja. How many? That's the main thing. I'm a ninja. I'm gonna go around just poof. Here I am. Poof. Here I am, and that's it. But I think people get too hung up on it.
I'm just gonna say, I mean, if Tom Cruise can be a samurai, why can't why can't his
So
brother
so
be? I'm
so
just saying.
and that was my whole thing. Supposedly that is a true story. That there was I don't know if it was an American, but it was supposed to be a white man became a samurai. In this case, with the guy Yasuke. In his case, what the main thing I've been hearing is that he was a retainer, which they said is kind of a samurai or at least a bodyguard. That they don't know exactly where his origins was, other than possibly West Africa. Um, but he was part of a mission trip with this Jesuit as a bodyguard, and Ode Nobunaga was thrilled by him because they'd never seen a man like that. Now, supposedly in the 16th century, they did have uh, slaves, interpreters that were black people, but for some reason, this guy, being I think they said 6'2", skin as charcoal, they never seen him before. So I get it. I get the argument where somebody goes, "Well, I just want to play a Japanese person as a Japanese samurai," but again, you're talking about a video game, which yeah. So it's like yeah. So it's one of those things where people are just, I think, just they're arguing just for arguing's sake on that part. And I don't think it's that. I don't think it's
They've
that
forgotten the
serious.
lessons that was the greatness of the Afro Samurai. I'm just gonna say,
And
I
that
mean,
was
in terms of like that was probably like one of dude like his the legend lore of that whole entire like IP was amazing.
mhm.
Art style, you know, and it wasn't anything that was like right. But I mean, it wasn't like a parody. It wasn't anything that was what's the word I'm looking for?
A
It
stereotype.
wasn't pander. It wasn't pandering, right?
There you go.
It wasn't pandering. Like it was just pure ass, pure pure badassery, you know,
Hmm.
and it was done really really well. Yes, it did have a guy who I mean it's a fake character, but I mean it's still a really really good story. And the fact that they would deny themselves the opportunity for a kick-ass character that
Hmm.
hasn't like a type of character that hasn't been told, you know,
Hmm.
in stories past, it kind of bums me out, you know.
See, and even with that, with Afro Samurai, I mean, if you guys want the article, it's been put out there that the history of Japan with Yasuke, that was the inspiration or at least background for Afro Samurai. Even with Boondocks, I'm gonna say at least for some of the episodes with some of the action, that was another inspiration for it. With there, so you always have that there. I just think that um, not to get too much into the weeds and politics and stuff. I just think that people are hung up too much. I mean, again, if we talk about Fallout, the season, I went in there like having how you call it, adoration or whatever for the show, because I was like, okay, I played Fallout 4. I really love the lore. Let's see what they do. So when I saw Lucy, I got how she got to where she was at. If you're stuck in a spot and you got nothing else to do, just keep doing the same thing. Like Glenn, you can like for Glenn, Hunter, I think most of us did some type of self-defense, whatever. The one thing they teach you is you gotta practice. Practice is not to make it perfect, but it's to get better, because it's all about muscle memory. So nerdiest thing I can give you is like if you're a Goku and you got Ultra Instinct, that your mind is not controlling it. Your muscles are already just doing everything with it. I don't know why I just did that, but hey, yeah. So
Like a snake with its head cut off, it still strikes.
I get that. I get that. No, seriously, I get that from a past seafood and seafood Serrano who teaches self defense. But anytime he talks, he be just like he'll move his hands like this is what you got. You muscle memory every time. Like he'll whip my ass. But and you know
Is
it's
he
like
doing is he doing kung fu, or is he trying to fish? Who knows?
yeah, that's the craziest thing. None. I'm not saying
Wait, are you calling out? Are you calling Steven Seagal out?
you hear here. Hey, you hear here, folks, right now. Steven Seagal, you have the challenge from Nico Farhat. Put up or
I'm like,
shut up. You friends
oh
with
my god,
Putin? He's friends with I don't know who, but still, that's besides the point.
you're gonna get your kneecaps gone, dude. Like he's an asshole, but I mean the thing that makes him an asshole is that like on like exposition fights, he'll like hurt people. Like he has. It isn't that he isn't bad, or like isn't that he's bad at what he does. He is a recognized master. He is good at sticks. He does this thing. Sticks are great. Somehow, some way, he always ends up with the stick. It's just like that's if you watch his movies, he's like, all of a sudden there's the sticks come out. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I guess, but I mean, it's a viable fighting form, and it's extremely useful because sticks are so easy to come by, But the problem is that he has zero discipline whenever it comes to not being an asshole.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's that's Steven Seagal's issue.
yeah, that's what everybody says. Okay,
I'm sure.
I just look. All I know is like what Michael J. White said. Yeah,
Yeah,
he'd be
Steven
like Mike
Seagal
Tyson.
went in and stole Nico's hairline so he could have it back. He now has it inserted into a small lock near his forehead, in memory of his defeated foe. Yet another hair plug. Like I don't know
But,
where I'm going with that. Like,
but I mean,
just
again,
imagine
that's
he like
why.
rips it out. It's like, like.
But
Sorry,
again,
I'm
that's
trying to
why.
lick towards the mic, Nico.
No, no,
I
no,
don't
you're
want to
good,
be
you're
too
good.
loud.
But that's
I'm trying to be
but that's
quiet.
but I'll say this, and I can segue to Nico since you mentioned that one comment. But I mean, again, it's one. I think what people do is they come with a bias, or they have some type of automatic hatred for something, and it's like if you can't see, like again with Fallout, if you can't see for the fact that there's nothing else to do. If I can give you another example, is being on deployment. Depending on where you're at, the most you can do, I feel like, is a prison. The only thing you can do is whatever duty they're giving you, either it's your MOS or your hey you guy, the gym, and if you're lucky, a phone call or a computer if you depending where you're at. That's all you got to do every day. It's a routine that you do. So, if somebody was mad at Lucy for doing everything, I'm like, if you have nothing else to do but to shoot weapons, to do this, that is nothing but practice day in, day out. If you can't
Mhm.
understand it, then I don't know what you're doing. Again, if you want to make the comparison to
In
Reyes,
2016, I was in the best shape of my life.
yeah,
Like whenever I got back from a dependent restricted tour over in Kuwait, man, dude, I was fucking jacked.
yeah.
Like I get that.
I was leaner
Trying
and
to
I
get
was
there
I
again.
was tan. I was tan. So yeah, that's why I'm getting at. I got the mustache first. Now I got to work on the rest of the body.
Right?
Establish the mustache. There you go.
Hagar, more like Hagrid. What?
Oh, your mother. No.
She watches this show, goddammit.
That was an old school insult. Like you had nothing else to say. You be like your mother, and then just run off real quick. Like Uh, I mean, I still think that's beautiful.
Revitiligo. You get it
So
right.
I got oh now I hate you because now I'm thinking of Uncle Ruckus from Boondocks. I got Versilago. Like what? No.
My mother was
But
very happy when she found out I was born a white baby. That I wasn't cursed with the dark skin of Revitiligo.
but but speaking of somebody getting beat down with their own arm, I'm gonna segue to Nico on the ending of X-Men '97.
Oh,
Oh, that was a beautiful segue. Oh, go ahead. Oh, there's actually there's a statue. There's a statue with him that somebody made with it. So I don't know if it's yeah, because I mean the IGN. I could post the IGN article, but there is, to your point and to your credit, there is pictures that people have shown. I think they showed him, I guess, wrestling a sumo wrestler. So you could tell like it's yeah. So you could tell his head down short. But I think with the if I think with the dreads, if they did add them, regardless if it's accurate or not, I think that's more of a look piece. I mean, again, it's the same argument about the hair. Like I said, you can say the same argument about Killmonger. Killmonger had a set hair that Michael B. Jordan was wearing, and then everybody was like, well, not everybody, but most people were like, why is everybody have the same haircut? Yeah, but not everybody and their mom. Every character, to include Miles Morales and Spider Man, didn't need that look. Now you can say it's been an influence, right?
I'm just going to say, guys, why are we concerned about historical accuracy on a creative piece?
Because people,
It, it just makes it. I mean, it's a
people.
story. It's a story. I mean, like, it's you're intended to be creative and seize the zeitgeist and shove it into a historical reference, and that's how you get historical fiction, man.
I mean, again,
At least staring at his ass because that's the way those sort of games run.
mm,
I mean, that's why I
staring at his
prefer
gluteus
playing.
maximus.
That's why I play Dark Elves on World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
It's all about that sway, bro. Okay, it happened.
Okay.
It happened.
So so with the conclusion of last week's episode, we find the X-Men, both teams, fighting their respective bad guy, with Cyclops leading the team Professor X against Magneto, who just saw Wolverine getting his animatium, and I know I messed up the name, ripped out of his
I believe
body,
the term is
and
adamantium.
antimantium,
Antimanian?
ultimatum.
Adamantium.
And to, anyways, we're gonna keep on going because
Say it with me. Ready?
go ahead. Ada
Adamantium.
boy, Ada boy, no,
Ada
Ada
Atamantium.
at the man over there. I don't know.
I'm not talking about what you're doing. Adamantium.
So we see
Aluminium.
we see the team. We see one team on Asteroid X. Wolverine gets
Asteroid
his
M. Asteroid M. Oh my god.
oh, this episode's gonna be Hunter. You're missing out, buddy. You're not listening right now to this episode, but you're missing it. So
So they were on the planet with the professor, and they heard that big old asteroid
I'm
up
only
there.
I'm only laughing more because Glenn messed up like 2 episodes on something, and we corrected him, and he was like, "Hey, calm down. Everybody, calm down." I was like, hold on.
Oh, it's just like you start like, okay, so adamantium, okay, right, you can't speak, I get it. But then you're like asteroid X, and I'm like,
Because we were
next,
talking about Samurai. I was thinking about Samurai X. Okay, put the two to two together. That makes
next we're going
five.
to be talking about the Morpheus initiative, like,
Yes.
yeah. I don't. What am I referencing? What
All
am
right.
I referencing? Okay, I'm not even going to make the same say the thing that I
All
meant
right.
to say correctly. Anyways, go ahead.
So we see on Asteroid M, um, Wolverine's hurt. Professor X basically says, "I'm gonna scream in your face, and then put some blast in your face too." As he enters Magneto's mind,
I'm a
and basically
fire
tries to reset
laser.
it. Um, during during which the other team that's on Earth, they're battling. Which two of the three that I mentioned happened, which was Jean Grey was about to die. Phoenix says, "Not today, bitch," and risen out of it, and basically gave it enough power to stop Cyclops, reset Sinister X to something that looks similar to the bad guy from She-Ra. I don't know if you guys remember that cartoon.
Wait, how
With
did she stop Cyclops?
not Cyclops, Nate Gray, Cable. I mean, Nate Gray. I mean, basically, stopped him from doing what he had to do. And Glenn's really being a stickler for all the stuff, but he could have talked. But anyways,
I mean, we're doing a recap, man. Come
so then,
on.
hey, this is my version, okay? So
Okay.
then we,
All
so then
right.
we
You go
find
right for
Bastion comes
Marvel.
out. He basically just one punches everybody with an energy wave, and then proceeds to take Cable's techno arm and beat him with it, and then said, "Guess what? This is mine," and absorbs it, and that's how we got the upgraded Bastion, similar to the comic book, which you see him go by. Um, After which was Bastion was pissed off once Jean Grey, who became the Phoenix, put the collar on, and he could no longer talk to his Prime Sentinels and the Sentinels, which he also looked like she healed the Prime Sentinels, but unfortunately some of them probably died because they fell from the sky. I don't know if y'all peeped it out. Yes, so that was the one thing that was great. We did see Iron Man, 90s Iron Man, Captain America, Spider Man, Daredevil. Yeah, even Mary Jane, which somebody in another video somebody said that which I didn't remember, like Spider-Man eventually at the end of his series he had to go to the multiverse to find Mary Jane. So the fact that he found her, and also Flash showed up. Um who else? Oh, Doctor Strange doing the whole surgery and the stuff. Uh,
Flash? You mean Quicksilver, correct?
I said Doctor Strange.
You said Flash.
No, I said yeah, Flash the bully that's in Spider-Man. You don't remember? In the movie and in the comic books, he had a bully that became his friend called
Oh,
Flash.
Flash Gordon. I got it. All right.
No.
Ah.
Yeah, yeah, that one. Defenders of the universe. Nico's like, oh my gosh, shoot me. So, anyways,
Right.
actually, I got never mind. That's a different story. I got a pop. Um,
All right.
so basically, Cable gets beat
That's what I
down. He
said to
gets
her.
he gets his arm stolen. And so Bastion says, guess what? I'm going to mess up Magneto and Professor X to destroy his dream. He gets there, battle ensues. While Magneto and Professor X are locked in Magneto's mind, and basically Professor X is trying to do an inception and get him back before he falls deeper into the water, which water represents depression or some psychobabble if he went to therapy. Not that there's
Which is funny
anything
because he
wrong with
was
that.
talking about saying "let the tides take you," and I was like,
Mhm.
"Yeah,
But I don't know if it was one of those. If he mentioned it, if it was like accept, don't accept the pain, but realize this happened, and then I get absorb it and then move on, which goes to the other three cameos, which were Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and then I think her name is Polaris, which is one moment she's Magneto's kid. There's another moment where she's not Magneto's kid, and of course Rogue, which that's when he kind of got woken up to the dream state they were in. Knowing Professor X was messing with him on that part. Um, then we see the one thing again. I'll give it up to the creators when Rogue punched the shit. I gotta emphasize shit. Oh, dude,
Not to
I
mention
was like,
this very sweet fan service booty shot that we got right in front of the camera, where her powers were really restored.
hey, 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 keep it in your pants. I love how Glenn's like not focusing on necessarily the fight, but man, her form is outstanding. Look at those glutes.
The thickness.
No, no, it's a booing sound. I need that. So Rogue clocks the crap out of Bastion. Bastion's like, what the hell? He spins out, basically crash land on the moon. Yeah, like Rogue's kick. Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't mention before when Rogue went on her little I'm gonna mess everybody up. When she did her flying downward kick, some people were saying it was Capcom, but it reminded me of an anime that I seen that from somewhere. Again, somebody said it was up. Like the movie or the series? Okay, got you. Okay. So yeah, basically Bastion and Rogue go back and forth. Bastion gets the upper hand, starts doing the whole Matrix time thing, sliding back and forth, and then Sunspot comes out. Um, he comes out and basically says, "Guess what? I'm gonna fight you and forget my mother and all this other mess." They go back and forth. Basically, Bastion gets back onto Asteroid M, in which at one point, the X-Men started getting the upper hand on Bastion to the point where he gets, I forgot how he got messed up, and then Jubilee. Yes.
Are you
So
going to
Jubilee,
fight me with the 4th of July?
and she gave him an ultimate banger.
She
Um,
was like, he's
oh
like,
yeah, that's a good safety
America.
thing.
Pew!
So the cool thing that I didn't pick up at first was when he got his wings cut off. I was like, did she just threw a destructo disc? And then that's when a later video somebody mentioned like, no, she learned that from her older computer self. Yeah, which again is credit to. Unfortunately, he got removed from the project. It's credit to the male because I would say at least each character except for Wolverine, everybody had their time to shine when it came to the action. It wasn't like
I
yeah,
was
and
going
that
to
was the
say
whole.
this, that
Go ahead.
whenever they did the intro for this episode, of course, they changed something with it was different. Of
Mhm,
course, they did. But I paused it on Wolverine's set because I was looking to see if he had the bone claws. He did not. That was the
mhm,
crazy thing. Like, well, and mind you, I mean, like, maybe it was just the way they drew them. And I thought maybe, yeah, they could be kind of bone colored, but like,
uh-huh.
whenever he did the slice, it didn't sound, I guess, something that I
That's
would
the
attribute to
ching.
bone. It was
Yeah.
still kind of shing, like
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
No,
And
I mean,
so, yeah.
to me with Wolverine, I think.
Nightcrawler coming in
Oh,
as a the freaking goat.
mhm.
I was surprised that like when Bastion was like trying to fly towards the gravity core, why didn't you know Nightcrawler just like sacrifice himself, grab a hold of him, teleport to a distance way far away from everybody, and then as he was flying back, just teleport him again and just keep him in this like loop while they figure out what's going on.
Uh, mm, yeah. But I think with that, that's along the lines of him discovering where he was going for as far as that, because he never knew where exactly he would go, and eventually he learns. Oh, I don't know why I want to call it the brimstone or whatever, but it's like some type of other hell dimension or whatever on that one. But even with that, they probably would have wrote it to where Bastion would have learned what happened, and just like with Rogue, he would eventually have caught up to his moves, and then it would have been too late on that part. But again, Bastion gets messed up. He looks like
It
a
would be
cross from
anticlimactic too, come to think of it story wise.
yeah. Um, at the same time, the only way I can say Nightcrawler could have did that, or possibly even saved them when Bastion was going through the core, we get to that point, was if they wanted to sacrifice him. But then I would think like, nah, that even though Nightcrawler is, he's religious, he's a priest, is one of the things of, nah, dude, we're not gonna do that on that part.
Well, it's like the same thing with freaking Trask. Whenever Rogue drops him off the damn building,
Mhm.
I was gonna say Nightcrawler could have saved him, and he was like, "Rogue, what did you do?" And it was like, "Bro, you were right there."
I
I'm
think
thinking
it's what
that there's a lot of instances where this could have happened, and Nightcrawler's just kind of like, you know what? It's not my place. Like
like Wolverine said, hey, everybody wanted to do it. Like, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I
So
guess so.
Bastion gets messed up. He looks like a cross from if Harvey Two-Face then had a baby with Cyborg Superman. Eventually Beast and everybody else that was on Earth arrives with the Sentinel, basically just foot stomp Sebastian. In this mix,
And Beast with the quip.
oh yeah,
The Greeks are a big fan of. That was great.
there's an irony. Like, okay, Beast, you need to stop getting all excited. Um,
Dad jokes.
But that was really cool. But then eventually we see that despite, as always in the movies, despite the good advice from those are heroes, the government's going to still do their thing. And they decided, hey, we're going to blow this asteroid up because that always works. And it never does on that part. So as Bastion said, Bastion had mentioned that basically, you're trying to save the humans because Cyclops giving his speech of, hey, um, which was not say it's kind of weird, but it was more or less of saying, "Hey, your mom lied to protect you in her way, and therefore that was the reason why you were hating Professor X," which kind of goes back, which to me kind of conflicts with the whole Nimrod programming of him, where I'm like, it didn't matter what his mom would do. I think eventually that would have won out. It may have helped them for as, "Hey, remember what we taught you," kind of thing. If you had a conflict, but that part was I don't think I didn't really agree
Well,
upon,
I
but.
mean, even with his memories as Master Mold and Nimrod,
Mhm,
like the fact that he had a childhood made him human, and so there was
mhm,
that ability to appeal to him because he finally had the chance through all his iterations to
mhm.
maybe have a chance for mercy.
I
And
don't know.
so I think it was good. I think it was like I think it was the chance for them to give him a choice. Finally, have let him have a
Right.
choice uh, to do the right thing, as opposed to uh, pour into his dark side. That he's
Mhm,
constantly, it's and honestly, I think that destroying him outright would have just felt well anticlimactic, and
mhm.
and
Well, I mean, it all depends, and
uh,
that's the part I was going to lead to is that eventually all the missiles hit the asteroid. They hit the core. Now it's a race against time before the asteroid goes to Earth. Cyclops, even though he was deciding to, to work it out with with Bastion, he was telling him to come join us. It looked like he was taking a leap towards them, but he actually was going towards the core. Which goes back, kind of goes back to Glenn when he talked about like Nightcrawler. Jean Grey, I don't know why she couldn't just pull him to the fold in their little, in the whole bubble they were in and go from there. But I guess it was more or less of again, not they want to go different with the storyline. So they say basically after all this, Magneto comes to. He basically says Magneto lives, and then
Magneto lives. Yes, I remember that.
um, which he then takes control of the asteroid, takes it back up to space, and then within a blink, everything flashes and everything is gone. Those that are on
Gotta love the
Earth.
Deus Ex Machina.
Mhm.
Like it's just the way that they button that up.
So what we find ourselves is the asteroid's gone. It's been 6 months, and lo and behold, while Forge is looking at certain pictures of basically missing action photos of the mutants, some are AWOL. Bishop arrives, which makes me laugh. Like, dude, where the hell were you at this whole time? Like, you just so happily, you lost Cable in the timeline, and you haven't came back. So basically, tells Forge,
I
"Hey,
was
we
too
got to go
busy
get
being a
these guys."
samurai over in Japan. Like, Please tell me that's a
Hey,
storyline somewhere.
oh, that'd be cool.
It would be cool.
um, I actually never. Oh shoot, small segue. That actually could work because I don't have the book around me. I don't know why I'm looking. It's not even in this room. I think it's 1652. Neil Gaiman did it where you find out that the supposedly the blonde-headed Indian, is Captain America who went through a time portal and was causing the whole big rift. This is when basically you took the mutants and Avengers and you put them during like the Spanish Inquisition and all
How
types of weird
unexpected.
stuff. And again, it's Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman, he's dope with his stuff. When he writes his
I've
books,
met
when he creates
him.
his shows.
I met him. I saw him over at the Daughters
He's
of
just right
the
now.
Republic hall over in DC during one of his talks. I shook the man's hand. This hand, this hand right here, has shook the hand of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chuck Norris, Neil Gaiman, and Nico. Like,
I love it. Uh,
yeah, definitely.
no Diddy.
No, did he? Right? I love that phrase, dude. I swear. Somebody explained that to me in the game on Tuesday. I was like, what do you mean by no Diddy? And they're like, no Diddy. And I started using it at work, and a
Mhm.
couple of the guys were like, oh yeah, like, I mean, it's that new speak these kids are talking these days.
Heck yeah.
No Diddy. Cap's gone. Cap's cap.
Yeah. There's no more pause. There's no Diddy now. So
No Diddy.
so we find us the X-Men disappear. We find that Jean Grey and Cyclops went to the future. They meet the yeah. They meet the mother. Mhm. They meet the mother of the Askins, Asquanawis. I'm probably messing up the name,
Ashmawi? What?
something like that. And then, unbeknownst to them, um, young Cable, young Nick, walks out and is to their surprise that hey, basically tells them, hey, we need your help. Then also it goes back. We get blasted back to the past. This time it looks in the desert. You have the rest of the X Men, and I'm put an asterisk. Yes, that was pretty cool. And we
Egypt.
see, yep, and we seen him in Nubar, no, in our soon, basically Apocalypse, young Apocalypse. Which then Beast
Who taught you
goes.
English?
Hey, first of all, sir, I got nothing. But anyways,
Yeah, no. I was taught English by a lady who was taught English by people who didn't speak
I,
English.
I didn't know books till I was a young man. Um,
Don't give me none of that garbage can.
you think books are your allies? I didn't know the touch of a hardcover. No, I'm joking.
Until I was already banned. Oh, I get it. Okay, fine. All right, let's roll.
All right,
So
so Beast goes over the dune and basically says he says Eureka. I said Eureka, whatever he says. He's like, "Oh my stars" or something like that. But basically, he sees a big dome, which
oh
the
my.
consensus is that it's more like his Ramen Tut, which is Kang. So Kang's back at it. And the thing that B sees is basically possibly is the thing that you see in Ant-Man in the Quantumanium. If you guys saw that one, it's a little sphere orb that he had and made him remake on that part. The only thing that I think of, oh, then after the credits end, we go.
Are you sure at Sabanur isn't Apocalypse, you mean to say?
He is
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
Yeah. That's what sorry, you said something else, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah,
No, they when Beast goes over to Doom, they see kind of a dome. So
yeah.
automatically, I was like, that's Ratut or whatever his name is, but really it's Kang who went back in the past. The dome
Uh,
thing could possibly be if you watch Quantumanium with Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's a sphere-like time thing that basically Kang blackmails Ant-Man to fix in order for him to escape from there so he can go and continue the war against the other kings and stuff. So that's just um a theory on that part. But we do shoot back to the present, and there you have the man himself, Apocalypse, who says basically, sign is sympathetic, too much death. And when he opened up his palm, the wind blows a dust, and you see again Gambit's card. Um, so before I hand it off,
Horseman
I
of the
would say,
Apocalypse definitely confirmed.
mhm. Which I think right now it'll be Gambit for sure. I believe now, because I didn't see him, I believe it's going to be Wolverine and it's going to be Morph. Because unless I was wrong, when everybody got teleported to the future and to the past, where was Morph and where was Wolverine? They weren't transferred to Earth. Forge, Storm, I think it was was it Storm? No, Storm went with them. So the only one that was down on Earth, I think, was Forge. I think that was it.
Jubilee.
No, Jubilee was with Sunspot.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because
Because he
he
brought her
rescued
back.
her and went down there.
Yeah, he caught
Yeah,
her in space where she couldn't breathe, and she could tell him thank you anyways, because
yeah. So
it's comic book space.
well, supposedly they said that the reason why because at first I was like, why? How could breathe on the moon? So supposedly that area was either part of Apocalypse part or I want to say they said somebody else, like Inhumans or somebody had it to where it's breathable. Do you believe they said that it's possible? Even though I kind of doubt it. What? Atmosphere of the Earth, yeah. So she was able to still breathe even though the air's thinner up there. So again, it's mutant powers. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah. So
on that part.
do y'all think that Sinister, after he got depowered by the Phoenix, might be one of the Horsemen as well? He could be Pestilence.
I think that'd be Morph.
I think that
Yeah.
okay, but like I have a strong inclination that Mister Sinister might be Pestilence because he's been depowered and you know and yeah, his face got fucked up. More fucked. Morph in the quip. He's like, "Hey, you look pretty bad. Show me my face."
Well, I mean, it depends. I guess it would depends if he grovels himself back to Apocalypse, because again,
But I think he would, given the fact that like he's relevant to the story, right? He's not dead. He got away. What is he going to do? First thing
get
Mister
back to
Sinister's going to do is start sucking down fuzzy woodland creatures to try to get himself back, and then eventually he's going to find Apocalypse, and it's entirely too easy plot wise to bring him back as one of the Horsemen.
yeah.
So I think it makes sense for him, Mister Sinister, and not Polaris, to be Pestilence.
I would say I'm gonna say no. Only reason why is because while I guess his DNA genetics that he spliced to him got taken away, it didn't take away from his mind, his can-do attitude, and his technology. So
Right.
as long as he can find and dupe other mutants to better help claim the whole thing. Hey, I can help you out, whatever. He's still gonna have access to certain things. The most I can agree on is that he's in a weakened state on that part.
Yeah.
But I don't think I mean, well, I don't deny that he cannot find Apocalypse. I think at this point, if he did, to me, Apocalypse would look at him as a weakling because Apocalypse is always about the survival of the fittest. And obviously, if you couldn't defeat Jean Grey despite her having Phoenix, what the hell am I gonna do with you? I mean, really, I think with Apocalypse, to his claim, he looks for broken individuals, but broken individuals that have a significance power that he can use. Sinister was just somebody that he somewhat admired, did the changes to him, and let him be. Even though in the comics he created Cable for the purpose of going against Apocalypse. So I mean on that one, I mean, hey,
It
if
makes sense with how much he was featured in this season. For him to not come back next season would seem like a plot hole.
how how would it be a
They are
It is, but I
they
mean,
already have
the
the voice
significance.
actor. I'm just saying.
I mean, my only thing will be, what is the significance of him coming back in season 2? He was just a bit player that supposedly was behind Bastion, got duped, almost got killed by Bastion until the Phoenix intervened and then took care of him on that part. So
Right.
the fact that they changed it to where Cable's creation and his techno thing was done by Sinister as a way to be the answer to Bastion, I don't know how that would play in with Apocalypse. Because to me, again,
I mean,
if you're moving the story
Mr.
along,
Sinister comes back as Pestilence with an improved technovirus, uh, and
nah.
that is what Apocalypse needs is the technovirus. I mean, it makes sense to me.
No,
We'll see.
I get it. I just don't see I don't see that it's needed. I think if you want to put him in season
Nothing's
3,
needed, right? But yeah, but I don't
mm,
know. I think the probability is high. I'll give you that because I mean,
okay.
the way the season has been going, anything can happen.
So let's do it right now. The probability of Sinister coming back in a significant role. I'm not saying he pops his head out. Okay, we got 75. What Glenn? What do we got?
Man, I'm 100% behind it.
Oh, he said 100%, folks. 100%.
100%. Mr. Sinister is coming back as Pestilence.
I'm gonna be like Price is Right. 1%. Like you have to do that. $1.
One
1%. That's
dollar. $1.
at the most, I think he'll be a cameo. That's about like nothing too
Or
big.
even better, here's one. He's Pestilence, but
Okay.
then he gets his ass beat, and then somebody has to take his place.
Okay.
Like he's level 1 boss that's sent by Apocalypse to be like, I was weakened by you, but now I have the power of Apocalypse. And
Mm.
then they come in and be like, all right, 1v1 me, bro. 360 no scope. Mr. Sinister's gone, dead finally. And then he's like, Apocalypse is like, oh, I need a new Pestilence. You shall be my rider. And then, now we have the fourth horseman as a
Mhm.
new Pestilence. And it would be a way to, sew that back all together, no plot hole, and no more Mr. Sinister.
Okay.
I'm feeling
We'll
a
see.
little Bart Simpson right now, where it's like, where everything happened exactly. Or no, it was Homer that made the prediction about the asteroid. That's right.
Uh-huh.
Where Homer, he's like, it'll just burn up in the atmosphere and you can put it in your pocket and be no bigger than Chihuahua's head. But, and that's exactly what happens. Everybody's scared,
Mm.
like, I'm scared. Anyways, we'll see. Um, so Gambit is going to be Death. Wolverine, I don't think is going to be one. Mr. Sinister is going to be Polaris. I think it'd be cool if they brought Hulk in as War, or not Hulk, but Red Hulk as War. Because who did we have on episodes past? He was,
Mhm.
and Apocalypse comes in. Apocalypse comes in. And he says, "This mutant scourge is going to kill you all. Be my rider and make war." And I mean, he's a general. He's Hulk. Hulk has been war before.
Mhm.
I think it fits. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, uh, and then, uh, and then if not, uh, and I don't know if we're gonna bring Archangel in. I mean, Archangel, because I mean, again, Gambit's gonna be Death. Um, but but Archangel might have a part in it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, one video I seen did mention Angel, but more or less of the theory is if they do bring him in season 2, it's more or less of he's still trying to find Apocalypse, and then he's finding out more information about Apocalypse because I guess that was the whole in the old animated series. That's what he was doing at the end, was trying to find a way to stop Apocalypse and trying to find out more information about him.
Yeah, and so he would be our messenger to bring the storyline to introduce him into the main plot. Would be Archangel shows up and he's like, Gambit's still alive, and then that would be the end of the episode. And the beginning of the episode would be the beginning of that plot.
Mhm.
Um, so just analyzing it story wise, my question is, who would be Famine? Who have we seen already and could be Famine?
I don't know. I mean,
One of the Morlocks, possibly.
major.
S- No, no. I mean, yes, they're dead. That's fine. I mean, Gambit's dead too.
Well, so, I mean, the auspice is that not all the Morlocks are dead, because again, there's people who did survive Genosha that
Yeah.
that were there.
Oh, what's his name? The little green guy. The
Leech.
Leech. Yeah, Leech.
I mean,
Leech's pestilence.
if they bring him back from the dead, yeah.
So,
Maybe.
all right. Here's my fantasy roster for the Horseman of the Apocalypse. Okay. Gambit's death. Leech's pestilence, or not pestilence, famine. Leech's famine. Um, Mr. Sinister as pestilence, and Red Hulk as war. Yeah.
Mm, maybe.
What you counterpoint? Go ahead.
Well, mine would be again Gambit. I believe Wolverine and Morph simply because we didn't see them. Wolverine has been a horseman before. Morph because um, even if he was, I mean, you can cast him as pestilence. Morph mainly because he has the ability to have the same physical powers of different people. So in a way, he would have Hulk strength. If they introduce Red Hulk, because I don't think Red Hulk was introduced in the '90s, that'll be the only thing on that one. The fourth one, since I haven't seen they haven't shown no other bad guys in this. I think he may be trying to pull somebody from the X-Men, possibly Rogue. I still believe he in his mind he rescues broken mutants, like far as them, far as being physically hurt or emotionally hurt on some level. And what better way to bring him to his side if he brought back, since he's bringing back Gambit. I believe
Yeah.
that's going to play emotional tug of war with Rogue
That's
with
true.
that.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, pretty good bet there. Okay.
I want to say though, this is good. This is a good, healthy discussion, folks. We're not mad at each other. Nobody wins.
Yeah.
If
And I
anything,
mean,
you get a pat on the
with
back.
her
Good job.
sapping powers, I mean that could fit for
Dude, I
her to
forgot about that.
be
This-
pestilence or famine.
When she did that
Yeah.
slap, you're right. When she did that slap, I was like, yo, like, man, it was good.
When
It was
the slap I saw, I was like, whoa. Nope.
that shit.
So yeah, oh yeah, excellent episode. Excellent way to end the season. I
Mhm.
think everything was tied into a neat little bow, plot wise, along with several threads, and not to mention the fact that we had a post credit scene, which I thought was really fun.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad they did that. I'm sad they don't do that for every episode, but I mean
Mhm.
that would just be every episode is kind of like a post credit scene of the previous one, right? Right, so that makes sense.
My only two
Um,
things. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, no, I was
No,
about
no, no.
to ask to change
The
the
only two things
subject.
I wish they do. Well, hopefully season two. The answer is who who messed with the timeline. Right now, the conspiracy is it is Bastion because Bastion took Cable's arm. That arm was how to use to travel the timeline. So the conspiracy is that he may have split them up, so his chances of reversing whatever they done for as a timeline, for his future, he can fix on that one. That's something to ponder. Two, one thing that I don't think they ever explain is how did Bastion rescue Magneto from getting blasted? Because everybody else around Magneto supposedly died, including Link. But how did he rescue Magneto beforehand? Unless he just was so omega that the blast kind of like Magneto had enough time to do a shield and it knocked him out, but it the power energy, whatever you want to call it, killed everybody else. Magneto just got saved by his electromagnetic stuff. Plus, he moved a little bit of iron
It's called plot
around.
armor. I'm just saying.
Because that was the one thing that was bugging me. Is like, how did you rescue? If you killed everybody around Magneto, and he supposedly had a bubble, a magnetic shield, whatever you want to call it, and that was supposed to protect everybody. How did everybody else die, but you didn't die? So I'm interested on that. I'm interested on that. If they explain it, they may not. So either
Yeah.
way, it got me. I'm about to dig out my graphic novels now.
I agree. Um, so there was something else I was going to mention. Um, if you're looking for who made the time bubble, we have a couple of candidates outside of the show. One being Loki, two being Deadpool. Why
Mhm.
not? I mean, oh, I think it was too. But it's always fun to have those thoughts because I mean, Deadpool popping into the animated universe during the movie and being like, "What does this do?" Floop, and then like, "Oh no, oh shit, uh, yeah, right." And then he pops back and then that's like the entire explanation for it was Ryan Reynolds popped into the rug. And then the other half being Loki is like, hey, wait a minute. This universe is focused too much on the X-Men franchise. This needs to be more on Avengers. And then,
Mm.
he does this thing. But no, that's neither here nor there. That's just kind of a like flight of fantasy, a wish, if you will. So maybe
Mm.
made on wish, right? So have you guys been keeping up with the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 news? No. No, it's just fine. So
Mm.
back in January, they had released an extended gameplay trailer. And past that, they basically just been doing a redo of the clan highlights since then. On the 15th yesterday, um, they did their latest Dev Diary 12, for developing the Ventru, and it's more or less some storytelling stuff of what do they look like, what does their fighting look like, what do they sound like, so on and so forth. And so I mean it looks like they're making steady yet uh, uh, you know good progress in general, and
Mm.
because they still have us due for release fall of this year, so I'm thinking that news for that will be coming out soon, sometime this summer, at the very least, whenever the hype train starts spinning back up for Bloodlines 2. As I don't think that they're going to try to go quiet with this because it's just been so long, but they're also not going to release anything until they're absolutely sure that it's going to release. The Bloodlines, the original Bloodlines one. Yeah, yeah. That was a whole thing. Spectacular game still. Probably one of the best World of Darkness games ever. And still kind of sad that they didn't do any World of the Apocalypse anything or Mage of the Ascension anything. Um, there was a werewolf game for. Now you're talking about the visual novel. Tell me more. Oh, it's PS4. Okay, who plays PS4? I, as someone who plays a lot of the World of Darkness games in general, like the visual novels and other stuff, I personally had not seen it. The only Werewolf the Apocalypse, it was the Heart of the Forest that came out. Is that what you're talking about? Okay, as that was on PS4 and Switch. Okay, yeah, because that's basically that. Okay. Oh, that came out in 23, physical copy, October 23 for the Heart of the Forest physical copy on PS4 and Switch. So yeah, well, Earthblood. Earthblood. Was that VR? No shit. No, I see it. No shit. Oh, look at this. Huh. Wow. Okay. Thank you. But oh no.
Oh,
All right. Well,
yeah.
best of luck. Good night, gentlemen. I wish you well.
Good night.
Oh,
Have
hey,
fun.
that's
Drink water.